Hi superstars, I'm Cali-Jāz and welcome to my channel, dedicated to helping you craft the life of your dreams. Welcome to day 12 of this 21-day positivity challenge. I am so happy that you're back with me today for another day of positivity. And if you're just joining me for the first time, I recommend you go back to day 1 and start from there. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And for those of you who have been with me so far, welcome back. I'm really happy you're here. I hope you are enjoying all of the positivity that's raining down in your life. And I wanted to check in on day 11. How was it for you? Did you do the exercise of sending blessings from your heart to other hearts? How was it? I'm curious, did you feel it? Did you notice any changes in the other person when you sent them this blessing from your heart? Did it fill you up with this beautiful rush of energy? I hope you felt those things. The more you practice it, the more you will feel. I know for me, when I first started it, sometimes I would feel things with certain people, but now when I do it, I can really feel it, and it's an amazing feeling that I can have just going anywhere and practicing this exercise that I really love. So anytime you're feeling down, this is one way to lift yourself up. Okay, so let's get in to day 12. Day 12, I'm calling a practice of forgiveness. A practice of forgiveness. So today we're going to go a little deeper than we have in the past. And we're going to do this practice of forgiveness. And forgiveness it's so powerful. It is transformational. It really is, for me, one of the foundations of conscious creation, because we can consciously create in the moment only from the point where we are in respect to how we see ourselves in the world, our stories, our wounds, like all of that, all of the things that came before now, everything, your relationships, your stories, your history, your memories, it all came before, brings you to this moment. And in this moment, you take steps forward into your future. And you do that with all of this information. And so when you have these unresolved traumas or pains or hurts from your past, you're carrying those now. And when you practice forgiveness, let's say that right now in this moment, I practice a forgiveness and I forgive something in my past. I forgive a person or myself, or I let go of something that hurts me and I just leave it here. Then that becomes a true part of my past. Because as long as we're holding on to things, these pains or these stories, as long as we're carrying them, it's like we're dragging this huge bag full of stuff behind us, and it limits how we feel in the moment. It limits our freedom of expression. It limits our ability to move into our future with this zest for life, because we have this stuff weighing us down. And so today we're going to practice forgiveness. We're going to practice letting go of something that you're carrying, that you're ready to let go of. And if you're here today, it's because you're ready to let go of something. So we're going to go through it together. I'm really excited about it. It's not one of the days that are just going to be total butterflies and happiness. This is going to take some going deep. It's going to take some feeling and some connecting to maybe some feelings that are uncomfortable and aren't so positive. But on the other side of that is going to be the healing, and it's going to be the freedom and the release of that energy that you're right now holding on to. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about the why it's important to forgive. So there's many reasons why. Forgiveness, when you forgive someone, you also forgive yourself. So when we have, or if you forgive something in your past, even if it is yourself, when you do that, you release, as I said, this energy that you're holding on to. Forgiveness is also really good for your health. They've actually done studies that say acts of forgiveness help people to reduce their risk of heart attack, lower their blood pressure, the anxiety, depression, all of these things just get better when you practice forgiveness. Because like I said, it's like you're carrying all this weight from your past with you. And as long as you're holding on to that, it's really hard to go into your future consciously. It's really hard to step into a new version of yourself, a new version of your life, if you're holding on to all this stuff in the past. Practicing forgiveness takes you out of the victim mode. And when you do this, you release yourself from these negative bonds that connect you to people or things or memories of your past. And so you set yourself free and you give yourself back the power. Because when we're thinking that this happened to me or this did this to me or I'm feeling this because, when we're holding on to all of that, there's a certain amount of our own personal power that's tied up and wrapped up in those stories and those beliefs. And that power isn't available to us to use in the moment. And so when you practice forgiveness and you let go of these things, you give yourself this extra power and energy and a sense of just being free and light and ready to move forward. And finally, forgiveness is the ultimate act of kindness. So kindness for me is such a beautiful thing. When we can express kindness to others, when we can do the things that we've been doing, sending the blessings from the heart or smiles or all of these things are acts of kindness. And forgiveness is the ultimate act of kindness because you're taking a step further. It's no longer with a stranger or someone who's doing beautiful things for you, but now you're actually giving an act of kindness to someone who's hurt you. And it might seem hard, but when we can realize that we all hurt each other, there's no one alive that hasn't hurt another person. We all do it. And I know for me, I've hurt many people. Probably every person in my life that I've loved, I've hurt in some way. And it was never intentional. But I'm human, and these things happen. We do things sometimes because we're feeling bad or our energies are low or for whatever reason, we've all done it. And when we can recognize that everyone hurts each other, everyone makes mistakes, we all do it, then we can sort of let our egos down and we can really step into the shoes of the other person and feel empathy for them and realize that, yes, maybe they hurt me, but they did it because they're human and we all do it. And I can love them anyway. I can love them even though they hurt me. Or maybe it's something that really you can't live with in your life. There are, of course, some different degrees of pain that we can experience from other people, and maybe the degree of pain that you've experienced is so deep and was so hurtful that love isn't there anymore for that person, and that's okay. I'm not suggesting that if someone hurts you in a really deep and painful way that you should just let it go and say, oh, it's okay, and let it keep happening. That's not what I'm saying. I think it's always important to honor yourself and take yourself out of situations where you're being hurt. But what I am saying is you don't have to carry that pain with you for the rest of your life. You can let that pain go. You can leave it here and sort of make peace with it and let it be a story in your past that has a closure instead of it being an open box that's just coming with you all the time. And so your challenge for today is to practice at least one act of forgiveness with someone or some story in your history, maybe yourself, something that you need to let go of, that you're ready to let go of now about your past, something painful that you're carrying with you. And you'll know what it is. If you don't have anything coming to mind right now, if someone came to mind or something came to mind when I said that, that's your thing. If you didn't have a person come to mind or a specific event come to mind, just after this video, you can close your eyes, or during this video, maybe something will come to you, but take a moment and just close your eyes and set your intention that you are ready to let something go. And whatever that is that's ready to be let go, to just present itself to you. And then whatever image you get, you're going to get maybe an idea, a name. Some people are more visual, some people more auditory. but you're either going to get a name or a sense. Somehow you're going to get a sense of the right thing. And maybe it's going to be later in the day. Just make yourself available to that and set that as your intention. And then when it happens, you can practice forgiveness. And so how do you do that? How do we practice forgiveness? Okay, so the steps would be, step 1. The first thing you do is you have to reflect and remember. And it's really good to connect to the feelings you had in the moment, to really just take the time to really feel that pain, what happened, all the stories you have in your mind about it, and really just bring those back to you and bring those to the present moment and bring them in a way that you can really look at them and you can remember what that person did, what you did. And I know for me, I've had things in my past that were almost too hard for me to even look back at and to experience again. Especially for me, it was hard to look at myself there and realize that I also played a part in this thing happening. And so, whatever thing comes up for you, maybe it's best to try this with something more simple, but whatever it is, bring it up and really look at it and be present with it and connect to the you that was there and the feelings that you had at that moment, and look at yourself through eyes of love. No judgment is necessary here, not for you or for the other person. You can try to just see it as like maybe a movie playing out where you can empathize with that person. Imagine you're watching this movie and these are characters on the movie that you're really connected to. And I love when they can make the movie show that the audience is actually sympathizing with both people. Like, I love it when they can do that with movies, because that really is how life is. Everyone has a story. We all come from a place. We all have our wounds and our hurts and our dreams, and we all really show up, I believe, trying to do the best we can. And a lot of times we don't make it, but that's part of our learning. It's part of our journey. It's part of being human. And so if you can just look at this from a really objective perspective and say, oh, I see me then. I see how I felt. I see this person and what they did. And I'm ready to release this. I'm really ready to let this go. I don't want to carry this anymore. I really want to let it go. I'm ready to do that now and do that today. And then empathize with the other person. And you can even imagine that you can talk to them. This vibration that you send with your voice, even if you say it out loud would be ideal, is it's going to reach them. It's so cool, but it does reach them. And the vibration, we are all connected in a way that I don't think anyone can understand, but we are connected. And when you do this, when you say this out loud, I see you. And I know this happened, and I've been holding on to it for a long time. But today I'm ready to forgive you for hurting me. And I want to release that pain that I felt, and I want to release my anger towards you or my resentment or whatever feelings that you have towards this person. I want to release those feelings right now. And I want to heal this connection between us, and I want to set you free. I want to set me free from this event that caused me pain. And so, just really with a lot of love, try to connect to this moment, to this person, to this experience, and to say, I'm ready to let this go. And then you're going to take 100% responsibility for this forgiveness. And that means that you're going to let this person off the hook. You have no expectations for them to do anything. I know a lot of times we have been taught, or we believe that in order to forgive someone, they have to apologize or ask for forgiveness. And in this case, we're not going to do that, because that gives our power away to that person. We're going to take that power all for ourselves, take 100% responsibility, and we're going to release them from any expectation that they have to do anything for us to be able to move forward and let this event of pain, this suffering, go. And so you can release them. You can say it with your words, or you can just say it to yourself that I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to forgive them. I don't need anything from them. On my side, this is healed. This is pure. This is all good. And I learned from that experience, and I am moving on from that experience. And I get to do that. I don't need anyone else's permission to do that. And so this is a really important step in forgiveness. And then the next step is to decide to forgive them and to decide to forgive yourself. And it can be a beautiful thing to seal this decision, this promise to yourself with some sort of act. And it can be anything, whatever your inspiration brings to you. I suggest you do that, but some ideas would be you could write it out on a piece of paper and you could burn it. You could put it in a bottle and throw it out at sea. You could take it up to the mountains and bury it under a rock, and then build like a little, take some rocks and build, I don't know, a heart shape on top of it, or, and writing it in whatever you need to write. You can write your anger, you can write how you felt, you can put anything you want into this letter, but at the end of it, just, I release this with love and forgiveness. I have forgiveness in my heart for this, and I am letting it go now. And then, ceremoniously, in whatever way feels good to you, really let it go. And you set yourself free. And then, it's always great to celebrate after. So I love to do just a little celebration of this freedom of just feeling good that I let this go, that this is behind me. Thanking life, feeling thankful for the lessons that I learned. Sometimes during forgiveness, I like to actually think of what is the lesson I learned here, and to be really thankful and grateful for that lesson in my life, because I think that's a huge part of life that we come here for. We don't come here to live our lives for everything to be perfect. How many of us would want to go and watch a movie that everything happened was perfect? You know, the person was like, oh, I'm so hungry, and boom, there's breakfast, and oh, I'd like to go eat, and boom, there's dinner, and oh, I wish I could go out and see some flowers, and then boom, there are the flowers. Okay, it might be interesting for a short period of time, but I think we all could agree it would be a really boring movie. And so every movie you see shows you with people struggling and learning lessons and growing and overcoming, and that's the beauty of life. And when we realize that, and we can be thankful for those moments in our lives, even if they were painful, they really are a part of our journey. And this person, if there was a person involved that was part of that pain you experienced, they're part of your journey, and that experience was part of your learning here in life. And so I love to celebrate at the end and feel thankfulness for the lessons that I learned, even if they were hard ones, even if they were painful ones. Those lessons serve me. And so that's your challenge for today. I hope you'll try it. You can try it with something super simple. It doesn't have to be anything huge, or you can tackle a bigger thing. Maybe there's someone in your life that you've been distant from for a long time, and you're holding on to a grudge, or you're waiting for them to do something, and you could repair that relationship today. You can take the steps to even call them and have a conversation if that feels right, or to just let it go. But in whatever way, when you forgive others, you forgive yourself, and that forgiveness sets you free. So the mantra for today is, forgiveness is key to happiness. Forgiveness is key to happiness. And so we're going to do positivity today. Like I said, going deep, but it's on the other side of that is going to bring a lot of positivity and happiness in your life, because when we forgive each other, well, we make our lives, without a doubt, a better place. So I hope you'll try this practice of forgiveness with me today. And I just want to acknowledge your willingness to be here, and your commitment and your dedication and your courage to break out of your comfort zone, and your willingness to just try new things and to create a better life for yourself. It really is a pleasure for me to share with you in these ways. And yeah, I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope it's full of healing and letting go and moving into a new space for yourself to create from. And until then, I'll be sending you big love as always. and I'll see you here tomorrow for day 13 of this 21-day positivity challenge.